Watching compelling stories with the Sauce Queen. I bring you the news and the truth. Follow my page on YouTube at Compelling Stories LLC with Shannicole the Sauce Queen. Hi guys, and you're back with the Sauce Queen. We're here with another story. I just want to talk about these plane crashes that have been happening lately. It seems like now it's hitting the public a little more. This has been starting since the first crash that happened in DC over the waters, the Potomac River. So now there has been multiple ones showing, and it seems like my algorithm is showing a lot more, maybe because I've seen and viewed one before. So everyone out there, what is happening? Answer that question. Does anybody know? Does anybody think or get a wild guess? Algorithms, possibly fear mongering, who knows? I mean, we can think about multiple things going on here, but just know that the media shows what it wants to show you, right? So at the end of the day, we have to remember that all these things that are going on and taking place with all these plane crashes. Um, it has been reported that there has been 87 plane crashes since January, going now to February, and we're about to enter into March. So yes, there has been 87 so far reported. Now, guys, we know uh, previously over the years in statistics and anything that you look up that there has been plane crashes before, whether it's the private jets, other type of planes that have been in these incidents, but really, technically, these things have not been reported as much as frequent. Now we're going into a new year, 2025. Don't get all caught up in the hype. Don't get messed up or misled because time has been running out on this earth, right? And the devil is running out of time. So fear does not come from God, it comes from the devil, right? So at the end of the day, just think about it. We're supposed to have all this hope, new year, new me, new whatever, and setting these goals and different things forward. And then now you see all this negative stuff on the news. Well, wake up call. A lot of negative things have been portrayed in media per se, and a lot of people usually are attracted to negativity, right? So just look at it. And let's not forget the word algorithm. So if you have been viewing these stories and looking at it, then they're going to frequently pop up. So when you frequently see these stories, don't get caught up in this hype. Just know that you got to change what you're viewing, change your mindset, change a lot of these things. But so let's get into it with the stories. I'm going to share some clips with you so you get caught up on what I'm discussing here. If you don't know about the multiple other ones besides the one in DC.
Capturing a runway disaster in real time as a Learjet heading from Austin, Texas, landing at Scottsdale Municipal Airport, veers off the runway, crashing into a larger Gulfstream business jet parked nearby.
Expect to go around, we just had an emergency.
The National Transportation Safety Board already investigating.
It appears that the left main gear failed upon landing, resulting in the accident.
A large piece of that landing gear can be seen lying on the runway. Authorities say 5 people were involved in the crash. 1 person died. Representatives for Motley Crue frontman Vince Neil say the private jet belonged to the singer, but he was not on board. The band sharing on social media there were 2 pilots and 2 passengers on the plane. And in a now deleted post, that Neil's girlfriend and a friend both suffered non-life-threatening injuries and were taken to local hospitals. Aviation experts say flying in the U.S. is still extremely safe and that these devastating accidents should not be cause for panic.
It's a combination of a coincidental rash of accidents coupled with a huge heightened sense of sensitivity on the public.
From those marine life. Now, we did just talk to someone who heard and saw this crash moments ago.
The jets come right overhead every day here, taking off from the Air Force Base. And this morning, they sound like they're a little low. And as soon as the first one came by, it got my attention. I looked out of my car. Didn't see anything because it was already up in the cloud coverage. And then the next one that came by was about 15 seconds later. And he was a little bit lower. And right when I was trying to get out of my car to see how low, it's when I heard him fire up the engines at the afterburners. And then seconds after that, you could hear a pop. And that pop, I thought maybe was the canister flying off the thing, but it wasn't, I guess. I think it was a thing starting to blow up. But then I saw the debris falling down right in front of my car here.
And we do know that about 60 units of first responders have been assigned to this incident right now. That includes the Coast Guard, Navy. We even had a U.S. Customs and Border Protection boat that was on the scene earlier.
We spoke to a couple of nurses walking down the street here about 30 minutes to an hour ago, and they say that they tend to get the military's trauma patients transported over here. Now, the Navy doesn't have many details on the pilots. They have not yet released the names of the pilots, but they do say that they were in town from Washington for a training exercise at Naval Air Station North Island.
Now, guys, so I want to get into the fact there was a plane crash reported since the one in DC. Another plane crash took place, right, in Toronto, Canada, on the runway. The plane turned over. So, I mean, these things seem crazy that we're hearing about all of this, right? And a lot of this is just like wild, along with Trump signing executive orders. Everyone's going berserk. So just know you got to think it's not your move, but God. So just look at all this stuff and change your mindset on what's actually happening, on where things are going, the direction it's going in. Just know that if you are someone who believes, people of God, we got to know that things can look like what it looked like, but it isn't what it is. You know what I'm saying? It can look like this, but if your hope and belief is all in those things that it look like, where are we going with it, right? So at the end of the day, we have to discuss and understand that it's our mindset. It's what we're allowing in, how we see and view it, our perception of things. We have to change that outlook. But what's going on here too, besides this thing that we say could be fear mongering? Yeah, you want to call all of us conspiracy people, conspiracy theorists, and crazy for bringing things of truth to the light, right? And showing things that were in darkness and now in the light. But at the end of the day, who's the crazy one? Me or you? Them or we? So, yeah. Now, looking into this too, according to www.panish.law, aviation accidents have gone down over the years. However, due to the escalating popularity of private jets and helicopter travel, there is a possibility it will reverse the trend. So, this report was recent. And yeah, so going back, a lot of private jets in the air, a lot of aircrafts in the air. We have more accidents, they say, on ground than in the air. But we're seeing so many accidents that have not been reported like this before. But now the media decides to show us these things. Well, what are we really thinking when these things are taking place, right? We have to keep our eyes open, and we have to see and view based off of that woke sensation we have in us, right? So Matthew 24:20, this verse, it describes the great tribulation moment and the coming of the Son of Man. So that is according to BibleBeliefs.com. But the verse states from the New International Version, pray that your flight will not take place in winter or on the Sabbath. So So BibleReference.com points to the fact that the winter travel will be difficult due to, and they quote, swollen rivers, creeks, and it would be harder to find help. For the sake of the Sabbath, it is stated that Jewish law prohibits travel on the Sabbath. So be careful that your flight does not take place in these devastating times, is basically what it's saying. So we have to take a look at spirituality here and where we're going in the world. And a lot of people are now waking up. And a lot of people are now believing the Bible instead of going against it and saying, oh, this is made up, blah, 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 whatever. But what you have to understand is that, no, the prophecy has been fulfilled. And things are taking a turn, and now the nation is waking up. But in the Bible, it also says that God says that his word will be told throughout all the nation. And once it is complete, the Son of Man will come back. We do not know the time, the day, or the hour. Just know that. So people who are trying to predict this stuff and say, oh, it's going to happen tomorrow. Oh, it's going to happen on this date. We don't know. It says it clearly. You're not going to know. He comes like a thief in the night. So when you're looking at all these things and these catastrophes and things taking place, just know that, okay, life is life. Things happen in life. What's taking place, we can't get caught up in the hype. But yeah, so now that we have the revelation and we have the insight on what's happening and what's taking place, we must stay as watchmen. So, like I said, compelling stories. We are here to understand and know what's happening in today's world, but we are standing as watchmen. So, right with you, the Sauce Queen. And believe it or not, we're going to unveil the truth.